Now that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what I like to call Gothic King Cobra presents the most badass way to light a cigarette. A fireball just showed up and straight lit that shit. Oh yeah. How about them just apples? Do you know how long I've been trying to perfect that very difficult cigarette trick? Of course, I got the window cracked open and I got my Shelby ashtray right in front of me, but that's beside the point. I managed to make a fireball light my cigarette. Straight up on camera. That's what's up, peoples. I've been practicing that trick for I don't know how many fucking weeks. And I finally pulled it off. Oh, that's fucking sweet. Hell yeah. Took me like 3 or 4 times to get it at the opening of this video. But then I got it just right. That fireball burst at the cigarette right there. And it caught the end of it. That's the kind of cigarette trick you could use to pick up chicks at a bar, especially if you're standing outside Facebook. If you pull it off and master this trick just right, and all she sees is a fireball burst from your hands and a cigarette catch fire. Like, okay, how do you do that? He does parlor magic tricks. Oh, he's interesting. Now here's the thing, Facebook. This goes to show you, when you set your mind to it, it can be done. That's a very hard cigarette trick to pull off, but it can be done. Straight out some Chris Angel type shit. Oh look, he lit a fucking cigarette with the fireball. That's my most difficult fire trick to do. But I would consider that my ace in the hole next to some of the Zippo tricks I may do. Like legitly, that's one of the hardest big lighter tricks to pull off. And being able to pull that off smoothly on Facebook, that's most definitely what's up. Now, I'm not doing GTA 5 right now. It's a bit late for that, but at a more appropriate time tomorrow, yes. Or later on today, I suppose, if you want to call it that. I got some dishes to do. I got some wands to mail off. And once all that's said and done, and with Gucci, then I may end up redoing that video. At the camera angle just right, if the video wouldn't have started horizontally. So if I set the camera down in front of the TV and then start the video, it's guaranteed to start horizontally. I mean, like I said, I had fun playing it, so I didn't care if I got my ass kicked, you know. It was nice to see it working and not freezing up on me. A friend of mine, Patricia, it was her birthday today, and her husband and some friends of ours were having a little get together. And I brought my staff with me, my crystal staff. There was a light in the park that I was fucking with repeatedly. I kept on turning it on and off with my staff. It was pretty cool, actually. And a couple hours after doing that, I mastered quite literally the sickest cigarette trick ever seen on the interwebs. I mean, that is literally the most badass way to light a cigarette. A fireball bursting from your hands and then whoosh. And for his next trick, he's going to make this shit disappear. Not for my next magic trick. I'm going to make this cigarette disappear. Abracadabra. It's just like magic, Facebook. So I got some random package in the mail. I'm not sure what the hell it's going to be. So we're going to open it up real quick. Seems to be a bag of some sort. I get junk mail occasionally, just like the rest of us. So sometimes trolls send me stupid shit, and sometimes I get cool shit in the mail. Oh, check that out. This is definitely not a troll package. A fan legitimately sent me a chef's hat for when I'm doing my cooking videos on my KingCobraJFS channel. That's most definitely what's up. So that when I go into the welcome to Cooking with King Cobra, and then throw that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I tried to start a YouTube channel where I didn't cuss, and that was kind of difficult, and then I fucked up on the recipe a little bit. At least I thought I did, but then I overreacted just a little bit, realized the recipe was just fine. Pretty much said fuck making a second channel, because the first one already has so many subscribers. And all the cooking videos are already on that channel to begin with. And that's what makes my channel original, is that makes it match the content. So there you go. That's most definitely what's up. So a shout out to the awesome fan who sent this. And that's the cool thing about it, Facebook, is you don't need a culinary arts degree to experiment with food. You really don't. You like different kinds of food, mix and match it up and see what tastes good. And when I realized how fucking good that sandwich was, I'm like, I had to recreate it on my original channel. I tried doing the second channel without cussing, and it didn't quite work. But YouTube doesn't really give a shit about cussing. They're more concerned about copyright infringement strikes. You want to cuss on YouTube, you want to show violence, blood, and gore, and you want to bully someone on YouTube, you can get away with that. But if there's nudity or copyright strikes, YouTube's had enough of that now. Even if it's a woman that's been tastefully done and it's a video about a woman empowering herself through positivity through her body, and if it shows tasteful nude in the video, YouTube could flag it and say it's pornographic. That's the kind of shit that gets me. Because if she's not fucking herself or having sex with anybody else, then how is it porn? And there's the problem, is when you sexualize the human body, you're creating a problem. And then on top of sexualizing the human body, you teach abstinence-only sex education in schools, and it's just a combination for what the fuck is wrong with American society, basically. Think about that for a second, Facebook. Now, it's okay to have standards, believe me, because there are some women who will bitch because some men like bigger boobs, right? But then turn around and some fat, creepy dude's hitting on them, guarantee they're like, ugh, right? And they'll go off on this feminist argument like, how dare men have standards? All women are created beautifully, right? Make that same argument when it's someone they're not into hitting on them. And I don't think they do. I think they get a little grossed out by it. Look, we've all been there. And the argument I've made on previous videos is if the person's being nice about hitting on you and you're not into it, you know, be nice back. That's just, you want to make social media and dating a much better place for people. It's a group effort. You don't like someone's channel, then don't watch it. And it doesn't make any sense to watch someone's YouTube channel just to talk about your shit about it. And unfortunately, I've had people try to dox me on YouTube before, so I can't allow comments on my YouTube section. It is what it is, but the creativity of the video itself is still there. That isn't exact science, but I figured out how to pull that trick off just right. If you don't like doing chores, you can always listen to music while you do it. You know what I'm saying? So like later on, I can throw on my headphones and, you know, what up, Gregory Williams? How's it going? How's it flowing? The opening of this Facebook Live video consisted of the most badass cigarette lighter trick ever known to exist. Very difficult to pull off, and I successfully pulled it off. Took like 3 or 4 tries, but there you go. Right when people started popping into the comment section, they're like, damn, that was kind of cool. Yeah. And nobody really likes doing cleanup after cooking, but because the funnest part about cooking is making it and eating it, you know, that's just a fact of life. But, you know, no one else is going to do it for you. I mean, if I won the fucking lottery and had my own dream house, I do my own dishes and I clean my own house, you know. Why rely on somebody else to do that for you? No offense to those who do that for a living, but if it's something that, by the stroke of some amazing luck, I managed to build my dream house and it looks sick as shit, you know, and that's something I wouldn't, you know, unless the mess got like too extreme, you know, like occasionally I probably ask for help, but that, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, yeah. Now, even though I didn't get a good quality video for Grand Theft Auto 5 earlier, I still managed to make my character fucking look sick as shit, so a pro and a con, I suppose. Much like starting this video, it took me like 3 or 4 tries to do something I did earlier, and I was like, wait a minute, I gotta try this again for camera, and boom. She'll call tomorrow, and hopefully the tubes have arrived. And if they have, look at a KobraCraft One sticker on the outside of the tube, so that way you know what's on the inside, and as well as one on the certificate. So that way, when it arrives in the mail, you already know what's going to be in it, and you'll be sitting there like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like a little bit of tape around the sticker on the outside. It'll protect it for shipping and shit. And it'll make it look more official. So when it arrives on your doorstep, you'll be like, yo, check this out. Now, after this batch is finally done, I can ship it off. And once it's shipped off, I can begin gathering more sticks for KobraCraft Wands. And Exhumed Visions is indeed a lucky bastard because he/or she got the Crystal Scepter at a discount, but from now on they're going to be a bit more expensive because they cost a bit more to make. And if Exhumed Visions does a video of it for YouTube, of it being unboxed, and people see it and start drooling over it, then people are going to see why. You know what I'm saying? Especially if quartz crystals are anywhere from like 20 to like $30. But the nice thing about quartz crystal is that if you drop it, it ain't gonna break. It's made from an actual rock found in Mother Earth. You know what I'm saying? And that definitely adds a bit of energy to your quartz. Yeah. And I have a sinking suspicion that my video, A Trip to the Wonder Gift Shop video that I made on YouTube, might have helped with their business just a little bit. Yeah. I didn't think the shop owners/workers wanted to be on camera, so just advertising the storefront was enough. So that people coming to visit Casper, who were Gothic King Cobra fans, they'd be like, this is the place where he gets the quartz to make these gorgeous crystalled wands. Dude, that's sick. Instant selling point. Yeah, buddy. When people say magic isn't real, that makes me chuckle. I've seen things that science cannot naturally explain. Instead of using some bullshit belief in a Christian sky god, believe in yourself is basically what I'm getting at. Why spend your time worshiping something you can't see when you could be doing things for yourself to make your life better, and if you can, the lives of others as well? Christianity only promises happiness in the afterlife, but that's if you're a good Christian, right? But magic can promise happiness now and in the afterlife, as well as happiness for others, if used properly and responsibly, of course. Although when you're fucking with demons and shit, you want to be careful that you don't fuck with something that's out of your league as far as magic goes. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew. When it comes to the other side, you have to have a mutual respect. Respect your limits and respect the deific forces, because they can and will fuck up your life at any given moment. Compared to praying in church every Sunday, practicing magic is so much more dangerous. You open up a gateway to the spirit world and the demon comes out and all hell breaks loose. It fucks your life up, you go mentally insane. Shit just goes to shit, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be extremely careful when messing with these sorts of things. But manipulating the power of your mind and demonic forces to wield and craft magic is a very dangerous way to gain superpowers and work with magic, but it does work. It's not a path for the faint of heart, mind you, because there are some people who are not as adept at dealing with that kind of spiritual pressure. Yeah. That's like some next level Lester Crowley type shit. The thing about living in America is I have freedom of religion, so if I'm not directly harassing somebody with my belief, then they can't say shit. I guarantee you Christians are allowed to go up and harass people. It's annoying as fuck when they start doing it, especially if you don't believe in it. They can't just practice their shit peacefully and leave everybody else the fuck alone. And if people are curious about it, let them come to them instead of the other way around. That's what I try to do. If people ask me questions about magic, I try to do the best I can to answer them in the simplest way possible so that the person understands it. No lighting a cigarette with a fireball bursting from my hand, that's just parlor magic. Sleight of hand, optical illusion. I figured out how to set it up just right, and the result was fucking epic. But it has to be timed just right. And getting that shit on camera was fucking lit. I'm just saying. There's a sense of accomplishment when you've been practicing that cigarette trick for ages and you finally pull it off successfully. America doesn't just, not only does America own a shit ton of guns, but you gotta think the technology our military has is pretty fucking badass. So if missiles came firing our direction, there'd probably be some other missiles that would shoot them out of the air before they made contact. They could have like laser defense systems that shoot missiles out of the air before they even have a chance to make contact and hit the ground, thus preventing nuclear war. Although the explosion in the air might pollute the skies for a bit. You might be pissed off at another country, but is it worth fucking up your allies' soil just because you're in a pissing match with some other country? Well, my nuclear button's bigger than your nuclear button. Oh yeah, well my country's got more gas than your country. Who gives a shit? What's wrong with saying fuck the nukes and just sharing the gas and the oil? Because it's all going in the fucking air anyways. Everyone on Mother Earth drives a car. Most of them are powered by gas. There's a couple that are cleaner burning, but I guarantee you if we shared the gas and got rid of nasty fossil fuels that burned on factories, it would save on gas. So if you strictly save the gas for like cars and engines and shit like that, but like you got it out of the factories and power plants and shit like that, If factories and power plants switched to cleaner burning energy all around the world, and if it was just cars emitting that smog, it would cut down on so much fucking pollution. It'd make gas a lot cheaper for everybody, not just America. And if gas was easier and more affordable for everybody, it would also make a lot less wars. You know, that's just food for thought, Facebook. One of those put that in your pipe and smoke it moments. That black Cavendish is just about cashed. Johnny cashed. What is up, Chris Musk? Music. If I butchered your last name, I apologize. I'm horrible with last names, but yeah. This video's got like 4 likes. That's most definitely what's up. And 7 people watching it. Yes. So if you continued offering smart cars that drive on cleaner energy, as well as gas-powered cars, and you took away the nukes and just got rid of them, put them on the Geneva Convention list of banned weapons, and you switched every power plant and factory on this planet to a cleaner burning source for powering and making manufactured goods that were also cheaper and healthier for the environment, it would mean base goods everywhere would be cheaper, not just gas. Not just gas, but your products that factories are used to make things. And factories are used to make damn near everything, minus things like a tobacco pipe, for instance, which in most cases, these things are hand carved. And could you imagine living in a world where, and if you took away all the pollution from every factory and power plant, the air would be much cleaner and it would balance out. And if we switch to that kind of thing in the next 10 years, if we made that kind of switch in the next 10 years, it would slow down global warming quite a bit. But the thing about global warming is it's a byproduct of climate change. Mother Earth goes through climate change quite often. We used to have an ice age, but the ice age got reduced to 2 polar ice caps. The rest of it's just ocean and land buried underneath the ice from billions of years ago. And with global warming speeding up, the climate change, the ice caps are melting faster, and the heat is causing a drier winter. But the excess of water melting from the polar ice caps is causing like a more hot and humid spring and summer, which means lots of thunderstorms. I mean, theoretically it makes sense, but then again, I'm no goddamn geologist, but these are just my theories. And some people dig what I have to say, otherwise I wouldn't have like 8 or 9 people watching this Facebook live stream this late at night. What am I up to tonight? Pulling some badassery on Facebook Live. I opened the stream with a badass cigarette trick that I've been trying to master for quite some time. It took about 3 or 4 tries at the beginning of the video, and I pulled it off right when the chat started exploding with people coming in to see what I'm up to. Yeah. Like, you want to ride my Asperger's about smoking tobacco when there's factories and power plants that pollute Mother Earth's skies, people fighting over gas. But here's the thing, the reason why a lot of power plants and factories run on gas is because it makes the oil companies super stinking rich. They're not only getting money from car manufacturers and gas station companies, from all these other factories that run on sources like that. So factories are paying a small cut of their profit from the fees they get from selling their product. And lo and behold, that small fee comes from their sales. A small cut of that's going to the oil companies, of course. So oil companies are already making a shit ton of money off of polluting Mother Earth. They still need jobs. I get that. And that's why that solution I came up with seems to be fair. I mean, there's so many people that buy cars to begin with. There are some people that make do with what kind of car they can get. But there are a lot of people who gotta have the newest, the latest, and the greatest. And it's not just on cars, you know. But it seems rather crass to pollute Mother Earth over extensively. And if there's less wars on oil and gas, that means less machines running on oil and gas. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it, tanks run on oil and gas, and you're fighting a war over oil and gas. Like, the level of irony is unthinkable sometimes. Like, you think for just 1 second, like, okay, wait a minute. I might have been second doubting my t-shirt design, but I was looking at it earlier, that Troll Slayer t-shirt design that actually looks pretty sick. The coffee mug looks legit. One of those coffee mugs you want to drink out of, and you just got on slaying some trolls, and you're drinking some dank ass Cobra's mess. I'm just saying. Fossil fuels are interesting. They're the byproduct of extinct dinosaurs from billions of years ago. The decayed corpses of dinosaurs in the ground are somehow mixed with the fossils and the rocks and the formations and the chemicals and all this and that. Like Mother Earth's own personal cauldron and this magical potion that gives fuel and source to machinery of such, yes. And it doesn't just give fuel and source to machinery, it also creates corruption and greed and war. Humans fight over it. People say there isn't something that's more powerful than love. I disagree. I'm not trying to be negative, but greed and corruption makes people do some pretty stupid things. And again, so does love, but that's beside the point, Facebook. Now, if you let your emotions like that get to you, then of course it can have disastrous consequences. You gotta be like a fucking secret agent when you're on the dating scene, man. You gotta be incognito, conspicuous, and casual. Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson. Because if you rush in there, you're gonna get turned down so quickly. You gotta be smarter than that. It's like getting into a hot tub. You don't know how hot it's gonna be. You don't want to burn yourself, so you kind of just like stick your toe in there, like, okay, wait a second, test it out. You know what I'm saying? Facebook. The thing about love, music, food, and the overall pursuit of life and culture is there are different tastes. Not everyone's the same, which makes things nice. If everybody liked the same kind of food, there'd be nothing left of that food. And that same logic would apply to pretty much everything. If everybody had the same taste, it'd be boring and hard to find the things you like in life. So there'll be some people who say, well, I think sushi tastes disgusting. And there are people like me who I'm like, it's a cultural experience and it's an acquired taste. I like it. I like sushi. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have put those nachos on YouTube. Because between the pizza and sushi nachos and the ultimate breakfast bacon cheeseburger, people are like, okay, these titles are instant clickbait, and they see me make it, and either they be like, okay, that's gross as shit. And realizing, of course, that sushi and nachos isn't going to be someone's cup of tea, but the ultimate bacon cheeseburger looked a bit more reasonable. And it seemed kind of pointless. And I mean, maybe if I got to like 20,000 subscribers, I'd consider doing a second channel. But right now, I'm still way too fucking small by YouTube standards to be doing a second channel. I'm still considered an underground artist. You know. This video is about 37 minutes long. It's not too terribly bad. I'll definitely catch you cool cobras on the flip side.